Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Nicholas Earl, and welcome back to another episode of Earl Sports Bets. And today we have the second day of the Sweet 16 for the March Madness NCAA basketball tournament. So we have 4 games we're going to be looking at. But before we get into the video, before we get into the recap of what happened yesterday, you guys know what to do. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we come out with a video here at Earl Sports Bets. You can also follow us on our social medias at BetsEarl on Twitter, at Earl Sports Bets on Instagram. We also have a Discord link if you guys want to join that. The link to that will be in the description of the video down below, as well to our merch if you guys want to get a Earl Sports Bets shirt, sweatshirt, a bunch of other things we have on that site, or we're going to be adding more. The link to that will be in the description of the video down below as well. And as always, give me your best bet for day 2 of the Sweet 16 of March Madness. So quick look at what happened yesterday. And one thing I did notice, now that I'm starting to look at them more, all 4 games landed on the under yesterday. Just want to put that out there. But Loyola Chicago just was outmatched against this Oregon State team. This Oregon State looks really good, and that's going to be a fun matchup when they go up against Houston, which brings us to our other loss of the day, which was Syracuse. I mean, Buddy Boeheim did slow down. So, I mean, that was just a brutal game. They started forcing shots at the end. They just couldn't shoot the ball, Syracuse, and Houston took over. It is what it is. Houston was the better team that night, and it's back to the drawing board for Jim Boeheim and Syracuse. I think next year is Boeheim's last year. When Buddy Boeheim graduates, he's going to retire as well. So just something to look out for there. And then our 2 winners of the day, we took Baylor minus 7.5. They get the job done. They knock out Villanova. They didn't look good in the beginning. They were down 7 at halftime, but they made their way back, and they got the win over the 7.5 point spread. And then we all like Oral. Their run comes to an end. Arkansas scored a jumper with like 2 seconds or like 5 seconds left, 3 seconds. I forgot how many seconds left. Less than 10 seconds left. Oral Roberts couldn't get the job done, but they covered the 11.5 point spread, and that's all that really mattered for me. They cashed the bet there. We went 2-2. We are 29-26 for March Madness, with 4 games left today, 4 games in the in the Elite 8, and then 3. So we have 11 games left of March Madness. All right, so let's get into today's slate here, as we are looking at 4 different games. We're not looking at Mississippi State and Memphis in the NIT Championship. We're not looking at Louisiana Tech and Colorado State in the NIT third place game. We're starting it off with the Creighton Blue Jays and the Gonzaga Bulldogs, minus 13.5 for Gonzaga, and then minus 1,100 on the money line, plus 700 run back for Creighton. And looking at this game, Creighton coming in 22-8 out of the Big East. They knocked off UCSB in the first round, and they knocked off Ohio in the second round. Gonzaga, they knocked off Norfolk State in the first round, and they knocked off Oklahoma in the second round. And looking at this game, I like Creighton here. One thing that does make me a little bit nervous is Creighton had kind of an identical path to the Sweet 16 as Villanova did, having to go up against a 12, then a 13 because of the big upsets in there. But I think Creighton keeps this semi-close. I think this line is about right. I have Gonzaga winning this game by 10.3 points. So I think Gonzaga still wins. I just think Creighton keeps this thing close enough to cover a plus 13.5 point spread. I think that this is a very wide spread. And when it comes to Sweet 16s, I'm not trying to lay minus 13.5s. As you guys saw yesterday, 11.5 cash for the dog with Oral Roberts. So if it's a double-digit dog by now, that's a sign of bet the dog, because we're this late into the tournament. This is a spot where you start taking the plus double-digit points. So we're taking Creighton here, plus 13.5. I really like them in this spot. Next, I have Florida State taking on Michigan. 2-point spread, -140 for Michigan, +120 for Florida State. And Florida State coming in 18-6 out of the ACC. They knocked off the Spartans of UNCG in the first round. Then they knocked off the Buffaloes of Colorado in the second round. They looked really good in the second round game against Colorado. Michigan coming in, they knocked off Texas Southern in the first round. Easy game for them there, actually, but it was kind of close. And then they beat LSU. They ran away with that game at the end. And for this one, I was looking at Florida State for the majority of the week, and then I sat down and looked at these games, and I'm going with Michigan in this one. I think they're the better overall team, even with their star player out. I don't mind them here, -2. I think they can get the win here. I think they can get the job done. I have them winning by around 6.7 points. So give me Michigan here, -2 versus Florida State. Today, I think they'll advance on to the Elite Eight. And next we have UCLA taking on Alabama. 6.5-point spread, -280 for Alabama, +235 for UCLA. The Bruins coming into this game 20-9, representing the Pac-12. With the Pac-12 is well represented. Oregon State with the win yesterday. UCLA is playing today, as well as our next matchup, which is a Pac-12 matchup. So that's a fun little thing there. UCLA has had the longest path in this whole tournament. They knocked off MSU in the first round. They knocked off BYU in the second round, and then they get Abilene Christian, the 14th seed, in the second round. The first four for MSU, round one for BYU. So they've already played 3 games in this tournament. The Crimson Tide coming in 26-6 out of the SEC. They knocked off the Gales of Iona in the first round, and then they beat Maryland in the second round. Took care of business in that second game. Iona covered in the first game, though. But for this game, I like Alabama. I think this is the time where UCLA's run comes to an end. Alabama's had a week to prepare for them, so I think they'll be able to stop them, slow them down, and be able to win this game. Give me Alabama, -6.5 versus UCLA. I think that this is a good spot for Alabama to get the job done. Which brings us to our last game of the evening, our Pac-12 matchup, as we have the Ducks of Oregon taking on the Trojans of USC. It's a 2-point spread, -135 for USC, +115 for Oregon. Oregon coming in 21-6. Both these teams represent the Pac-12. Oregon had an interesting tournament so far. They advanced against VCU due to COVID-19 issues. And then Iowa, they took care of business against Iowa. They destroyed them. And then USC coming in 24-7. They knocked off Drake in the first round, and then they absolutely whooped Kansas in the second round. I had Kansas, unfortunately, in that game. But we're going to go with the Trojans here. I have them winning by around 6.9 points. So we're getting almost 5 points of value on the USC side here. So I like the Trojans here, -2 versus the Oregon Ducks. I don't mind a money line thing with Michigan, Alabama, and USC. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I'm going with USC to advance here and play Gonzaga in the next round. All right, our plays for today are Creighton +13.5. And then we're going with a couple of favorites here with Michigan -2, Alabama -6.5, and USC -2. And that's going to be our plays for this slate. If this information was helpful to you guys at all, feel free to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we come out with a video here at Earl Sports Bets. But that's going to just about do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And let's cash some bets. Let's make some money in college basketball March Madness, the Sweet 16 today. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.